In this video, we're going to continue working on our website, looking specifically at backgrounds. So at the moment, if we preview our site, you can see we've got completely white. That's because the page is white and the background is white. So let's change that by adding an image. I'm going to go to Properties, Site Properties, Background, and under Background Pictures, I'm going to click Add, and then Browse Disk, and I'm going to choose an image. So I've got this one, and it's a pretty large image. As you can see by the dimensions, it's 1920 pixels wide by 1500 pixels high. And as you can see, the size is 78 kilobytes. Now initially when I created this image, the size was about 700 kilobytes. And what I did is I reduced the quality of the image, and that brought down the kilobyte size. And I brought down the image quality just enough so that you can't tell the difference between when it was at 100% or when it was at the 50% I put it in. But at 78 kilobytes, it'll be fast to download. At 700 kilobytes, especially for people who have a slow internet connection, it could take quite some time to download. So that's why I needed to optimize the image. So I'm just going to click open and OK and OK again. And as you can see, the background is now that image, and then just preview that. There you go. So we've got a nice image on the background. Okay, so let's look at a different example. This time I'm going to again go to Properties, Site Properties, and I'm going to click on that image and delete it. And then I'm going to click Add and Browse Disk. And this time I'm going to choose Repeating Cubes, and it's just a small image. As you can see, the dimensions are 79 pixels by 68 pixels. I'm going to click Open. Now the default settings for the X position is to repeat horizontally, and for the Y position is also to repeat vertically. So this small image is going to be tiled all the way across and all the way down, essentially filling up the entire background. So let me just click OK and OK again, and there it is. You can see it's filled out the entire background. Let's just preview that. Now whilst that's great, if we wanted to add some text or our images, that's going to be quite distracting, and you're not going to be able to read the text or the images. So what we can do is to actually define the page by giving it a color. So to do that, we go to Properties, Site Properties again, Background, and under Customize, you can see the on-page color is this checkered, which means it's transparent. So let's change that to white, for example, and click OK, and you can see now our page has gone back to white. But when we preview it, you can see that we've still got our tiled background image on the left and right hand side. So we can add our content to the page. Okay, so let me show you one more example of tiling. And that is, we go to Properties, Site Properties, and remove this one. And click Add and Browse Disk. And this time we'll go for Repeating Leaves and click Open. Again, this is a small tiled image. And what I want to do is I don't want it to repeat vertically, so I only want it going horizontally at the top of the page. So I'll just untick Repeat Vertically and tick OK, click OK. As you can see, it repeats horizontally across the top of the page. If I want, I can again change the on-page color to transparent to see it going all the way across. And again, I'll click OK and preview that, just like that. So if you wanted, you could add panels of, say, white quick shape and add your text in there, or you could again just make the page white. So let me show you that as a footer. So again, so we're going to go to Properties, Site Properties, and I'm going to click the image and click Edit. And this time for the Y position, I'm going to change it to bottom and OK and OK again. And this time you can see it's at the bottom. So let's just preview that, and I'll point something out. Now the page is about 1000 pixels high. My monitor is 1080 pixels, so there's going to be some difference. And you can see that's why we've got this little white gap going all the way across, because the monitor is bigger than the page. But that's nothing to worry about. Okay, so the last sort of tiling example I will show you is, if I just remove this image, and I'm going to go to Add again and Browse Disk. This time I'm going to click header.jpg and open that. I want it to repeat horizontally. I don't want it to repeat vertically, and I want it to be at the top. So I'll just click OK, and as you can see, it's at the top. I want to add another one this time. So I'm going to click Add again and Browse Disk. And I want to choose middle.jpg. I want this to go beneath the header, and as you can see, the header is 100 50 pixels high, so I need to make a note of that. And I'm just going to click open, and this time what I want is a Y position to actually be custom, and I want it to start at 151 pixels, so just after the header. And again, I don't want it to repeat vertically, so I'll untick that and click OK. As you can see, there's this gray gradient image going all the way across now. So I've got one more to do, and that is the footer. So again, add, browse disk, footer, open. I don't want it to repeat vertically, and I want the position to be at the bottom, and then just OK. Just like that. So we've got a header, we've got our middle, and we've got our footer. So I'm just going to click OK and preview that. So that gives you the impression that you've got a full width page, even though you'll probably only be using the center part. But again, that's how you can take single images and stack them one on top of the other, just like that. Okay, so now I'll show you one final example, which is the one that we'll actually be using. So again, properties, site properties. I'm going to remove all of these images. And I'm going to make the on-page color white. I'm going to make the background color 12, because if you recall from the last video, I've reserved the color scheme 12 for the background. So I'm just going to click that one, and as you can see, that looks great. So I'm going to click OK and preview that. And that's going to be our background color, and we're going to use a white page. Now, one thing I do want to do is, at the moment, the page pretty much meets the browser, both at the top and at the bottom. So what I want to do is just add in a margin both at the top and the bottom. So I'm just going to do that by going to properties, site properties, and under customize, top margin I want to be 10 pixels, and bottom margin I also want to be 10 pixels. I'm just going to click OK and preview that. You can see there's a margin at the top and there's a 10 pixel margin at the bottom, and that sort of gives the effect that we've actually got a page that is separate from the browser. So that's what we'll be using. Join me in the next video when I'll be adding the logo and the navigation menu. Don't forget to visit my website at www.iplus360.com for free downloads and premium templates.